Hello everybody and welcome to Cannabis Crafting. Well, it is Boxing Day today and I'm home alone for a bit, so I thought I'd make a quick video for everybody. This video is going to be about a few things. For starters, I'd like to talk to you guys about people that are selling their marijuana, claiming it's medical marijuana, selling it on Facebook and other sites. Then they're requesting your money first and then they'll send you the product later. Now, does that not sound weird to you people? I've been getting contacted 2-3 times a day, sometimes more, by different people, and they keep trying to sell me different marijuana products. And they're saying, oh yeah, you can trust me, we have the best, send me $200, $300, $400, and we'll keep sending you this product until it gets through. I'm from Canada. These people are from the United States. So, it's pretty dangerous alone, even with legalization looming, you don't want to be crossing borders with cannabis, and especially these companies that are already known for selling cannabis like this, it's just asking for trouble. That then will get you into importing charges and other things. So, first of all, it's not a smart thing to do for one, and secondly, it just doesn't make sense to me. I tried it twice myself, just to see. I was curious. I wanted to see if it was any good. And the first time, nothing even came through. Person swore up and down they sent it 2-3 times, and they can't afford to send it no more. And if I wanted them to continue trying, I was gonna have to send them another $100 and on and on. And needless to say, I never got what I paid for it. They blame the government and all these other people. So a little bit went by and I thought I'd try a different guy just for, whatever. I thought I researched good this time and, they sold me a great story on everything. So I ordered a half ounce. 1 second. So I ordered a half ounce and the package did show up this time, except what I ordered was not in the package. The person took it upon themselves to put something different in there because they said what I requested wasn't in and this is a suitable replacement. Now, I smoke indica, or a high indica strain. They sent me a near 90% sativa strain. I was very upset. So I told them, I said, look, I'm not happy with this. Is there any way I could send it back or get my money back or something? And again, I was told, sorry, you're out of luck. This is what you get. Take it or leave it, but we are keeping the money. So now, as a third time these people keep trying to get a hold of me, I tell them stuff like, well, cash on delivery, for one. It's an option available. Any postal service, any mailing, parcel service, you pay the delivery guy when they bring you the package. Therefore, if you don't get the package, you don't pay no money. Second option I think that would be fair is, the option to pay after you get the package. That would keep people from sending, stuff that you didn't order. I understand their side. People don't pay what they're supposed to. A lot of people come out with this big fancy story. I'll do what you want. Just gimme. They get it. You never hear from them again. So I see their security measures too. That if you're starting out, you can't afford to be sending out hundreds of dollars in stock in cannabis and not getting paid for it. Myself, I don't sell my cannabis. I grow for myself and I give it away. I don't believe in making money off the sick. A lot of people think it's all good. I'm going to charge this guy $20 a gram, $10 a gram, blah, blah, blah. No. They're sick. It's medicine. The government, they do it enough. We, the people, should be standing up for each other, So, back on topic. People, be smart when you're ordering things online. Especially, through a Facebook site or something. Don't let these people sweet talk you into sending them hundreds of dollars. Okay? A lot of the pot that I've seen come from these places is not flushed properly. It burns black. You gotta light a joint 4 or 5 times. They don't take the time with it because they know they're going to get their money and you're going to be stuck with it. And if you don't like it, tough. And, we can change that approach. You know, this internet soliciting of marijuana has to stop. It limits our ability to make sure we're getting what we paid for and getting what we want. You know, nowadays, there's a lot of scams out there. Our government scams us every day. You know, so what makes you think an average Joe that has a family to take care of isn't going to scam you? Things for you people to keep in mind when you're ordering online that's not, I guess, what you would call a reputable business. You know, first ways to tell is a COD delivery. If they're a good business and they want to keep you as a customer, they'll do a COD. Because to them, if you don't pay, it just comes back and they'll resend it to somebody else. The money-hungry people are the ones that are saying, pay, 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 pay. And that's when you, the customer, has to stand up and say, no. If we, the people, stick together, we can delegate the terms in which we will live our life. You know? Something for you guys to keep in mind. Also, another thing that's been brought to my attention is this no flushing of cannabis when you grow it yourself. Now, I don't know if many of you people have been paying attention to the news lately, but since this new trend of non-flushing of cannabis has started, there's a cannabis-related illness where people will smoke and then they'll become extremely agitated, nauseated, they'll sweat, you know, it's a very bad feeling. It's almost like greening out, I guess, but from what I understand, a lot worse. And one of the only ways to subside from these terrible feelings is to take a hot shower. Now, this is relatively new. You know, I've heard of it in the last 2-3 years, and I heard it a few times in the past before. It was very, very, very seldom, you know. But now with these government agencies that are in it for the dollar, they don't take the time to flush their product, to cure their product, to do a good job because they need the dollar. They run on production of value at the end of the day. If every day they're not making more than the next day, that business is not good for them. You know, they don't want it. So, you know, they can tell you everything they want, but when it comes down to it, you are just a dollar figure to them. They don't care, you know. There's been a lot of recalls since government LP cannabis has come out, licensed producer cannabis. I'm a licensed purchaser myself, and I have nothing but problems with these people. You know, they make mistakes on their end, and then they blame you, and they tell you it's up to you, and da-da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, you've sent all your papers to them. You've done everything you're supposed to do. They didn't do it on their side. Yep, it's on you. So, you know, we got to stick together, the people, and, you know, this was the people's medicine for a long time. You know, yeah, it's a shame that organized crime got a hold of it, and, you know, they made these crazy prices, but also by the cannabis coming to the people, look at the strides we've made, people, in the different phenotypes, the different everything. Cannabis is just amazing since it's come to the people. Now, the government wants to take it over, and all we're having is issues time and time again. You know, new things. Oh, they're using this chemical that they're not supposed to use. They're using this fertilizer that they're not supposed to use. These are government companies that swear to you that they got your best health at interest, yet they hide illegal fertilizers in their ceiling tiles, and then when they get caught, they deny all knowledge. You know, that's dangerous. You know, and then now this no flushing thing that they're trying to push on people. I've been arguing with a lot of people over this. You flush your cannabis because it forces the plant to use up the stored nutrients in the plant itself. You know, like a fat person. When you starve a fat person, they thin out. Right? I don't know if any of you guys were in wrestling or any kind of competitive sports when you were younger, but cutting weight, you know, when we wanted to get down to be an optimal physical peak for that match, you know, if you could get yourself down 10 pounds in fat, but still maintain that muscle mass and that strength, well, now you're a better fighter or better wrestler in that weight class. Well, it's the same with your cannabis, people. When you flush it, you're forcing the cannabis to lean itself out, and only the main cannabinoids stick around. You know, your THC, your CBD, your THCV, you know? Tons of things. Now, there's so many things they say is in pot, it's ridiculous. Next thing you know, they're going to say they're bad for you, which I don't agree with. You know, I was recently diagnosed terminally ill about 2 years ago, and it changed the way I looked at life and the way I lived my life. And when I look at marijuana, I've seen it help people out in so many ways. I've seen it take sick people dying of cancer that the doctors were saying they were done. They're up on their feet. They're moving around. They're living good. They're happy from cannabis. You know, I've seen communities that were near bankruptcy. These were towns that were going to be ghost towns. You know, they started growing cannabis and selling it in a big market. You know, it's a shame it was a government market, but yet it saved their town. You know, families, you know, PTSD. You got people coming home from war and they're just strung out. When, you know, they can't operate in a normal family setting. They smoke a little bit of pot. Now their family can exist happily. Now, to me, that does not sound like a dangerous drug. That does not sound like a drug that needs control. That sounds like a drug that needs to be given to the world for what greatness it is. You know, I've witnessed myself studies done on teenage girls that have taken microdosing in cannabis for anxiety and low self-esteem issues, and they had 3 groups. A group that was on the oil, a group that was off the oil, and a group that was a placebo. You know, it was just a water dosage. And, you know, they actually found that the cannabis-taking girls, they had a better first semester. And then they switched it. It was done over the grade 9 school year, and they were moving it through semesters. Each group would switch. One would be nothing, one would be placebo, one would be in oil. And every semester it would switch. And by the end of the study, they found out that as the kids were on the cannabis oil, you know, they were enjoying school. You know, these girls were going through their days without their normal worries. These were girls that had past issues with cutting themselves, with anorexia, with bulimia, with massive social issues, you know, that impeded their enjoyment of life, you know, and they got on these things and, you know, on this oil, and, you know, history was made. Yet, you know, you ask governments about these studies and they say, oh, there's not enough information to make a decision on it. There's not enough information for us to know. Yet, there's enough positive information that common sense would dictate that it is it's good. It's a good thing. Yet, they have study after study and finding after finding that opiates and alcohol and tobacco are terrible for our society. They do nothing but cause harm, yet they won't even admit that, and people will believe it. You know, so when you want to believe a government study saying don't flush your cannabis, just remember they lied to us over and over and over and over again, and they will not stop lying to us. They tell us what they need us to believe so that their system works perfectly and they can go on living the way they've grown accustomed to. You know, at the end of the day, they don't care about me or you. They care about them and their own. And we have to get out of that thought and start caring about them, ourselves, and everybody else. You know, yesterday while our family was opening Christmas, you know, a part of me, you know, I got a little choked up because I felt like I didn't do enough for my family, like I wanted to do more. And they were happy, you know, but I sat back and I started thinking, you know, there's kids out there that didn't get anything, you know, that starved, that went to bed hungry, that maybe had a passing of a close relative in their family that day, and no one was there and they were all alone. And I just felt this great overwhelming joy to know that I think I figured it out. You know, the people that you care about are the important people in your life, and everybody else is just as important. You know, you just haven't given them a chance to get to know each other so that you can develop that relationship and that friendship. I'm not saying, you know, open your doors to every stranger on the street, because, you know, there is a lot of bad people out there, but then again, there's a lot of good people. And you have to keep that in mind. You know, you have to give a person a chance to fail before you can accuse them of being a failure. You know, you can't just say you're a bad guy and you've never even had a conversation with them. You know, these are just some things, you know, that I've been thinking about over the last few days, and I just thought I'd make a video to you guys, from me to you. I haven't done anything like this on my channel yet, so I just thought I'd give people a chance to get to know how my thought process works when I'm in my daily routine. You know, I like to try and help people. I like to try and give, and if I see people in need, I like to try and do something without them knowing, without anybody knowing. You know, I like to keep these things to myself because I don't do them so that someone can say, "Oh, good job, Eric," or they can say, "Oh, thank you." I do this so that I know inside that they're going to have a better day today. You know, that's it. I help them have a better day. You know, and if everybody did that, if everybody aspired, you know, at some point in their day to help another person, everybody would be helping somebody, and we would live in a community that you would be happy, you know, to walk out and walk around with your family, and, you know, you could talk to the people in your community. You know, look at nowadays, we have communities of hundreds of people living within 10 feet from each other, and they don't even say a single word. They don't even know each other. You go back 20, 30 years ago, everybody in town knew each other. People from town to town knew each other. They took the time to get to know each other. You know, we have to get back into that, because without your humanity, you're not a human. You know, you're just a Homo sapien. You're just a creature that's walking on the earth like everything else, that's only focused on yourself. And that is not what a human is supposed to do. You know, a human is supposed to better their environment for themselves and their family and their community. So that's just a little bit of what's going on in my mind, you know, at this moment. I just thought I'd put this video out there for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, if anyone feels like listening to this, tell me what you think. You know, do I sound silly? Do I sound like I make sense? You know, I myself, I always take a chance of putting myself outside my comfort zone. I won't take a chance with my family, you know, my spouse and the kids. I can't yet. You know, this lifestyle is new to them, so, you know, there's certain things that I won't do anymore because I can't cross that boundary. You know, I have to be here for them and support them right now. But yet in the same, I will still put myself in an uncomfortable situation to help somebody else. And, you know, everybody should do that, I think. You know, when you see somebody being attacked by the police, you know, because they're homeless, or, you know, maybe they're hungry and they stole some food, you know, and then you see a police officer beating down on that person, and you think, oh, well, he's a thief. Well, have you ever given it a thought what led up to that moment in their life that they felt the only thing they had left to do was steal? You know, I guess in a way I've been fortunate and unfortunate. I've been on a lot of different sides of the life. You know, I come from poverty. I've experienced poverty. I've also worked very hard. You know, I'm a journeyman scaffoldler. I went out west. I used to make lots of money out there. I spent money like it was nothing. I've also been poor to the point where I was living off canned meat and crackers. You know, and I've been everywhere in between. I've had a family with children that I loved and I still love and I spent every moment with, and now I haven't seen them in years, you know, all because of an issue with me and my spouse. And, you know, sometimes when you love people so much, you know, you don't want to see them suffer, so you allow yourself to do all the suffering and you allow them to go on and enjoy their life. And, you know, that's something that people also have stopped doing. You know, they always think of themselves, well, why should I do this? Then I won't. And I won't be happy and I won't have. Well, you know what? Maybe maybe you've had long enough. Maybe you've been happy long enough. Maybe this person deserves a chance to be happy as well. And you don't know what life has in store, you know? You may think, oh, if I do this, it's going to be the end of everything good. But yet, it's honestly the beginning of greater things. You know, I lost my sister in April to a murder. Her spouse murdered her, and they just had a 6-month-old, and she had 2 other children before that. You know, it was terrible for me. She's my only full-blooded sibling, and she was really the only person that I had in my life for a long time. But, you know, when she was taken from the world, I met a person that I probably would have never met, and I would have been alone for a long time. I still would have had my sister alive, and I truly don't think it's a fair trade in some ways, but it's amazing when you step back for 2 minutes and just look at the bigger picture of things. You could do a lot more for yourself, your family, your community, and that's what it's all about. They've taken away our purpose as people. They've destroyed the family as a unit. Now you have children bossing around parents. You have men without knowing their spot in the home and women without knowing their spot in the home. And it's just anarchy. And, people have forgotten everybody has a job. Everybody has a place, and everybody has a purpose. The man has a purpose, the mother has a purpose, the children have a purpose, the pets have a purpose. When you allow that purpose to be taken away, now nobody knows their role and it doesn't run smooth. The key to a smooth home, the key to a happy home is a man that knows his job, a woman that knows her job, and children that know their job. You go into a home like that, you see a good functioning home. You see happy children, happy parents, happiness. That's the way we're supposed to be. Happy. When we were put on this earth, we weren't put here to have the biggest house and the nicest car. We were here to find happiness and multiply. Have kids. That's it. So, I guess this will be the end of my rant for Boxing Day of 2017. I don't know if anyone will listen to it besides me, but Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has a good New Year. Always think of what you have, not what you don't have, because you could have nothing just like that, people. So, take care. Bye-bye.